everybody. Okay, if we could everybody be silent now, we're going to begin. Okay, I'd like to welcome you all to our Veterans Day Assembly. Once again, it's a very nice event we have each year to say thank you to all of our veterans. We'd like to begin this morning with in a moment I'm going to have you stand for our Pledge of Allegiance, and it's going to be followed by the Star-Spangled Banner. Please remain standing for both. I'd like to welcome Nicola Anatoska and Sean Lucente, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Everybody, please stand.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may sit down. Okay, once again, welcome everybody. As we proceed through this Veterans Day Assembly today, I'd like to remind all of you that while we are sitting here, we want to be respectful of our neighbors sitting next to us so that they can hear, of all of our presenters, and all of the people from around town who have been kind enough to come and speak with us and join us in our Veterans Day celebration. As a matter of fact, our guests today that we have with us are State Senator Richard Ross, Mr. Ben McCarty from the American Legion, Mr. Jim Lehan, Selectman, Mr. Jack Hathaway, the Town Administrator, and Mr. Sean Dooley, our Chairman of our School Committee, as well as our Town Clerk. Thank you for joining us today. When I started Assembly, I always like to give a little background information about the day and why we're celebrating it. But this time I found a nice little poem which I think sums up about Veterans Day. And it goes like this. It's called Veterans Day, and it's written by a woman named Cheryl Dyson. On Veterans Day, we honor all who answered to a service call. Soldiers young and soldiers old fought for freedom, brave and bold. Some have lived while others died, and all of them deserve our pride. We're proud of all the soldiers who kept thinking of red, white, and blue. They fought for us and all our rights. They fought through many days and nights. And though we may not know each name, we thank all veterans just the same. I think that sums up that today we come together to honor all of our veterans, those who have died while they're serving the country, and also those who have come back home to tell us all about what they did to help keep our country free. Our first speaker today will be Senator Richard Ross.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Whitmore. I always love to come to this every year because it does give us a chance to think about who we are as Americans. And you know, who we are as Americans isn't defined by just being people. People are the same the world over. All people are the same. What defines us as Americans is all those special things that we've done since America was discovered, to the settling, to the colonization, to the documents that have been generated that make what we believe in special. It started in the Mayflower cabin with a quill pen writing down the Mayflower Compact. Think about what would have happened if that tip broke and they said, can you go out and buy a new pen? I mean, think about all of the disadvantages they had in early times to producing these wonderful documents, which are living, breathing documents that kind of frame what it is that we believe in. The Bill of Rights, the the Declaration of Independence, all of those things that make us as a people special because of the things that we believe in and have faith in. I would suggest that those are the things that frame us as a people. It defines who we are and why we are willing to protect those freedoms that are embodied in those documents that who we are as a people. So take time today to think about the history you're being taught, to think about the governmental things that you're going to learn about. I know one of your teachers a moment ago just spoke about the fact that she'd like to bring you all to the State House. Robin McFadden had thought about why we don't have a trip for third graders to the State House. I gave her my card and suggested that that is one trip you should make. We, as a Commonwealth of Massachusetts, actually have state constitutions that's the oldest one in the world. Our Constitution here in Massachusetts is the oldest Constitution. The national Constitution was framed around it, used many of the tenets that were in it. But we as a people can be proud that places like Norfolk, which was part of Wrentham back then, actually generated documents in 1778 that they sent to the State House in Boston, which was then on State Street, where the framers were writing certain things that they wanted to have in that Constitution, actually included things that were suggested by Wrentham Town Meeting and other communities' town meetings. So it really is a collection of those things that people thought were important as rights and beliefs and things today that we are willing to fight for. It is those people who so believe, like us, that they're willing to sacrifice, that actually take up the mantle of being willing to take arms and to be veterans. And those people are the people that we're here to thank today. So thank you to all those veterans that listened in school, who listened in civics class, who adopted many of those same tenets that our early forefathers believed in. It's only through your teachers that you learn about these things. It's only through your educational process that you start to believe in those things as well and start to realize that those values, those principles, those beliefs are certainly worth fighting for. So today, as you think about it, if you see anybody in a uniform, or you see anybody who's serving, be sure to thank them also for their willingness to take it a step further than we do and actually be willing to don a uniform and protect our rights. So thank you very much and enjoy your day today. Have a good Veterans Day. Thank you.
Thank you. Now I'd like to call down some members of the third grade class who are going to present the poem, Take a Moment to Thank a Veteran.
Take a moment to thank a veteran. When we see someone in a uniform, someone who serves us all, doing military duty, answering their country's call. Take a moment to thank them for protecting what you hold dear. Tell them you are proud of them. Make it very clear. Just tap them on the shoulder, give a smile and say, thanks for what you're doing to keep us safe in the USA.
Thank you very much. Next, the entire third grade will be singing a song entitled, Thank You, Soldiers.
Protecting shore to
Thank you very much. That was wonderful. It's nice to hear all those voices singing together and about our veterans. Very nice. I now would like to call up Mr. Ben McCarty from the American Legion to talk to all of us.
That was an outstanding song. I'm very proud of the music program here, both with the chorus and the singing, as well as the band by Mr. Foraker. Does the town proud. Why today is we are celebrating Veterans Day and are giving thanks, I'm going to tell you the story today of how the United States military not only gave freedom to a country 30 years ago, but also gave them a new holiday, Thanksgiving. This country never had Thanksgiving until the United States arrived 30 years ago. The country was Grenada, and it's a small country in the middle of the Caribbean. Many people today may not be able to pick it out, and I think there were less people 30 years ago who were unaware of the country. However, in October 1983, there were some people in the world that knew about Grenada. And they wanted to use Grenada as a way to take over other parts of the Latin America. Cuba and the Soviet Union at the time were not friendly to the United States, and Grenada was having problems. In 1979, some bullies took over the government of Grenada from the freely elected government and installed themselves there. 4 years later, in October 14th, 1983, some even bigger bullies took over that government and then said, we're going to start to move and try and go somewhere else. Well, the United States was asked to come into the country. Also, Barbados and Jamaica were asked to come into the country to help them out. However, before that could happen, there was something else that impacted the United States Army and the Marines in another part of the world, the Middle East. Just like today, we are in the Middle East today because of the fighting and going on. 30 years ago, they were still fighting there. That time, the country was Lebanon, and the United States was told that they were to be the peacekeepers in this place where there were over 30 different groups fighting. And they said, United States, we want you to be the peacekeepers, and we're going to put you in the middle of all these people, these countries, these groups that don't want you there, and you've got to restore peace. That would be sort of like you're at the movie theater, and all of a sudden, everyone in the movie starts getting up and fighting, and you're the only ones there trying to restore order. An impossible job. And it was, because you had Israel, Syria, Lebanon, Christians, Muslims, terrorists, and subgroups of all these were there. Well, unfortunately, on October 23rd, 1983, a truck filled with bombs drove through the checkpoints and the defenses of the United States Marines and blew up where they were staying, the Khobar Towers, and 1,200 Marines were there. 241 of them died, 8 of them from Massachusetts. October 23rd. So the United States said, okay, we are going to send some Marines over there for reinforcements and to help out over there, and it's getting worse. However, back to October 14th, Grenada was still there. The group of Marines that were supposed to go to Lebanon to help out over there after the bombing there happened to be in the Caribbean Sea, and then they were told to go in, to divert from going for the Middle East to go to Grenada. They got prepared the best they could. They went in. They captured the big bullies, got them under control. There was a medical school there with 1,000 Americans, students and teachers that were there. They had been accused of being spies, and they were going to be threatened for their safety. Went in there, saved them, took over, restored order. Took a little time to do it, though. So the United States troops were there over our Thanksgiving. And our Thanksgiving is in November. And when you have Thanksgiving, what do you typically think about when you have Thanksgiving meal? Turkey, potatoes, sweet potatoes, cranberry sauce. These were all foods that the country of Grenada and their citizens, the Grenadians, were not familiar with. However, they heard the United States military there talking about this great meal and what it meant to them to give thanks and why it was important to them. And this small little island, the people there were so grateful, they started to make phone calls. They called people and said, "We're not familiar with turkey. We're not familiar with cranberry sauce, sweet potatoes. We're in the Caribbean Sea. We have fish and other items, and we have to bring everything in by either boat or plane or through the mail service, however." So they made calls, and they got together in bits and pieces. All of a sudden, they had all the fixings together for meal. Some of it may not have been the best. Some of them had roast turkeys, others had canned turkeys. Some were, potatoes weren't as fresh as others, but the United States military didn't know this was going on. And then all of a sudden, they were told to gather at different places on Thanksgiving. 100 different towns and villages on the island called the soldiers in and gave them this meal. Complete surprise to all the military there that didn't know this was going on. And they were so grateful and thankful that as a result of this, they started thinking. And then they said, "We've never had Thanksgiving." They brought it here. They brought freedom. We need to have our own Thanksgiving holiday. So our Thanksgiving holiday is in November, fourth Thursday in November. However, Grenada decided they were going to have it on a different day. It was not going to be in November. They picked the date of October 25th, 1983. They said October 25th is when we got our freedom as a result of the United States military and the people of the United States. Therefore, we are going to have Thanksgiving Day on October 25th every year. So it is now a national holiday in Grenada, Thanksgiving October 25th, due to the military and the thanks there. So as you thank the veterans over the next couple days and throughout the year, keep in mind that the veterans have also given thanks and set up thanks to Grenada and other people through the world with their fight for freedom wherever it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McCarty. That was very interesting. That's a story I didn't know. Thank you very much. Now I'd like to call forward Ms. Shana Mango. She has written and is going to recite a poem called Veterans Day.
Thank you for all that you've done, guarding land and ocean too, not resting till the war is won, bringing happiness to the red, white, and blue. All soldiers have served us quite well, letting us know that we're safe. So throw out your arms and ring out the bells, because they're making America great. Risking your lives and everything, bringing peace throughout the bay. And that, my friends, is exactly why we celebrate Veterans Day.
Thank you, Shana. That was very nice. Thank you. And now I'd like to call up Mr. James Lehan.
I'll get in trouble for moving this. Good morning. I'd like to tell you a story as well, but in a different way. You know, as I was sitting here this morning and looking out, it reminded me that what seems like just a few years ago, I had the privilege of coming to a ceremony like this. I say just a few years ago, that's a little bit of a fib, and having 4 of my kids sitting out here. Now I'm just a few years later, and I get the chance to see 3 of my grandchildren sitting out here. And I have to tell you, it puts a real smile on my face, because it makes me realize what a wonderful community we live in. Now, it's hard sometimes at your age to understand what it means to live in a little town like Norfolk, and it probably seems kind of boring for you on some days, but it is a great place to live. And the reason it's a great place to live is it's part of a great nation. And that great nation is a result of a lot of people caring and wanting to build a country where we could be free, where we could make decisions for ourselves. And people that have joined the military have stood up for that tradition. Sometimes we call them heroes. They would tell you they're not heroes. They're just like you, just people that made a decision to help. So I want to tell you a little bit of the story about that chair that you see over there. You all know, I think, that Adam Kennedy, who the school was named after, Freeman-Kennedy School, was a student here. He graduated from this school, and he went on to serve his country, and he gave his life for this country. He gave his life so that we can live in a nice little community like Norfolk. Adam came home, and the entire community came out to pay tribute to Adam. And a caisson came down the street, some of you may remember, pulled by a horse, and we all paid tribute to Adam and to his family. But sometimes, those young men and women that serve our country don't come home. We don't know what happened to them. There are 95,000 missing in action members of our armed services that have never come home. Imagine if it were your brother or sister, and you didn't know what happened. You didn't know where they were. And the pain that must cause their mother and their father and their family. So while we remember our soldiers and those that help protect us, we have to remember those 95,000 soldiers that never came home. How many of you been up on Town Hill? Come on, you've all been up on Town Hill, whether you're supposed to be or not, right? There's a flag up there, right? There's an American flag up there. Did you ever notice there's a second flag? Yeah. And what is that flag? That flag is an MIA flag, missing in action. Almost every community in the United States has that flag. And it's to honor the memory of those soldiers that never came home. This chair does the same thing. We dedicated this chair the other day, and it'll be in Town Hall. How many have been to Gillette Stadium, Fenway Park? Oh, great. Not a bad year at Fenway Park, was it? There's a chair in every one of those stadiums that no one sits in. It's a vacant chair. There's a cord across it, a little rope across it. No one's allowed to sit there. That chair is in memory of the soldiers that never came home. They have a creed that says, "We will not forget." That's what that chair symbolizes. So when you get a chance today, remember those 95,000 soldiers. We don't know where they are, and they may never come home. But it's important that they're never, ever forgotten. And one of the things that we as a community can do is keep reminding everyone that they served us, that they protected us, and they gave their life for us. Wherever they are, we want them remembered. So if you get a chance, bring your parents down to Town Hall sometime and show them that chair and tell them what it means. Tell them it's to honor those 95,000 soldiers that never came back. We're very, very lucky to live in this great nation. We're very, very lucky that these people protect us and retain the rights that we have been given as birthrights as people of the United States of America. As you grow older, you'll understand that even more, and you'll appreciate it more. And then when you get to be as old as I am, and you have grandchildren coming to this school, it will really put a smile on your face. You'll understand what a great place we live in, and you'll be very grateful to the soldiers that help protect us and maintain those rights. So, before the day's out, smile, look at that chair, and just kind of whisper, I will not forget. Thanks.
Next, the chorus is going to sing All American, Me and You. Thank you very much. That was very nice. As I was listening to all the speakers and listening to all the music and the poems, I began to think, I was wondering how many of you know people who are veterans, who are either members of your family or your friends or your community. So really that seems like most of you. So you all know firsthand what an important role all the people in the military have in keeping us free. So I hope that over the next few days, this weekend when you run into them, tomorrow or on Monday on Veterans Day, when you see them, don't forget to say thank you. Thank you for all you do, and thank you for putting your life on hold and going out and serving your country so that we can all have these freedoms that we so much enjoy. We are going to end this ceremony today by the playing of taps. And I want to remind everybody that taps is a very solemn song played by the trumpeters. It is normally played at graveside services. So while they are playing their songs, I want you to remain silent. We do not applaud after taps. We just think about all those soldiers who have given up their lives for all of us. And I would like you to remain silent, and we will silently file out by classroom once taps has been completed. Thank you.